I just broke the pulley nut loose, and that is counterclockwise. This slid off of there easily. I think it's just held on by this. Okay. On the timing chain cover. Here in the bottom of the cover, not the bottom nut or hole, but this one is a short standard screwdriver. So far they're the same. Now this one is has a nut and a washer on a stud. Well, there's pins to help line it up. Well, I don't know why that's there. Still the same length. Locking nut on that one. Very long bolt that holds the bracket here. This one looks like it's going to come off too. Mounting hardware. Okay, there's no lock washer, split washer on the back side. Lots of cleanup to do still. So this was on the back, this was on the front. I'll take a very long bolt. I'll just leave that one off. Still the same length. Okay, that's all the bolts. Let's see what we got. What do I have here? Maybe paper gasket, looks like. No? There's a dowel pin down here. Keeps everything lined up, and that should be it. Okay, there's the timing chain tensioner. It's just flat spring, 2 pieces. There's the oil seal. And I do have a replacement, and that thing is hard. That's hard, rock hard. Oil slinger. And okay, I took this off like this, and it's taped, it's rounded. It's rounded this way. I'm going to take a photograph of that, because that's got to go on the same way it come off. Okay, now you can see what I'm talking about being rounded. So there's the chain, it's a single roll. The wear is each little link here has a pin. That pin goes through these little rollers, and that's where it wears. And this little link here. That tensioner is supposed to hold this slack, not let it pull back. I gotta pull the lifters, followers. Starting with number 1 exhaust. It's only one of the better. Number 1 intake. Terrible pitting and dishing. Huge dish. 2 intake. A little pitting, a little bit of dish. R2 exhaust, pitting started, dish started. 3 exhaust, big pits, big dish. 3 intake. 4 intake, small dish, small pits. 4 exhaust, pits, and dishing. So the bigger the dish, the more hard surface is gone getting into the cast. Same length bolts, fine thread. Rounded on the front, flat on the back. Got more play in the front one than I do in the back one coming through that. Alright, I'll clean that up and look at the tips. Number 1 exhaust, 1 intake, 2 intake, 2 exhaust, 3 exhaust, 3 intake, 4 intake, fuel pump, 4 exhaust. Smooth here, smooth here, smooth on this one. This one is rough. She's down into the casting here. 2 exhaust is starting to get into the cast. We're still good here. 2 intake, smooth, smooth. Number 1 intake, I'm into the cast. So these 2 lobes here and here are down. That'll be interesting to see. And then 1 exhaust is smooth. So you can see that it's been riding on this outer edge. This is the fuel pump. The lobe on the cam, that works the fuel pump. You can see what the fuel pump's been doing. Crank sprocket. Pulling the crank timing chain sprocket. I see a shim. Well, it make me work right to the end, didn't you? Okay, here's a shim. Oh, I got to take the key. I hooked my puller arm claw behind it, pressed down, and caused it to slip forward. This is the shim. It fits the roundness of the crank. Crank key is 0.189, 4.81 millimeter. The length 1.262, 32.05 millimeter. The height 0.3135 inches, 7.97 millimeter. Okay, inside of my 3496 millimeter, 1.3765 inches, 1.0315, 2615 millimeter. Now the crank, 1.375 inches, 3495 millimeter. Dot here. Oh boy. There is no dot. CC53. And gain 1/4 of a tooth. New sprocket, old chain. Same amount. Oh, it was mentioned in the book that the sprockets didn't wear. It was the chain. Let's try the old sprocket with the new chain. Okay, she's not maybe half of the movement, or maybe even less. Measuring is getting ridiculous. 0.21 inch, 5.47 millimeter, 5.30 millimeter, 0.2095 inch. There is a difference here. This has got flat teeth, these are pointed. 1.0355, 1.032, tapered, flat. This one is smooth, this one is machined rings in it. Oil slinger. The one has got more movement. This is pretty well tight, no movement to it. Another important thing to know about these cam sprockets is the position. The dot here is to line the crank with the cam gear sprockets. The dot here is to line it with the cam. You notice on this cam, there's a dot. And the reason for that, I have marked out the teeth, marked out the holes. If I turn this one hole, reline the holes here like it would be, the teeth are now half off. If this gets turned over, reline the holes, I am 1/4 of a tooth off now. One side you get 1/4 of a tooth change, the other side you can get a half a tooth change. 3 bolts, they are the same length as each other, and 2 machine screws. The bolts are the same length with split washers on, locking washer. Machine screws are only a third smaller in length. Now this motor mount, I had to take it off with the plate because stuff is in the way. So that needs to be put on before the timing chain cover. Remember that. This needs put on before the timing chain cover. Okay. There it is, all of its ugly.